Now, the periodic demolition of property and shanty towns in Abuja has become a cause for both the victory of law and order, but also socio-economic concern, especially as it often targets and hurts the poorest and most vulnerable in society. It's been going on for years now, but the latest happened just this week when a combined force of the Army, police, FRSC and FCTA officers began a dramatic pacification exercise aimed at getting rid of all shanty towns and illegal structures in and around the capital, which they say violates the original plans for the city and house criminal gangs. The residents tried in vain to stop their homes being pulled down, pleading not to be evicted. FCTA officials said they were advised well in advance to relocate, but most were unwilling to give up their livelihoods in the capital. The result is that many people have been left without roofs over their heads as the government targets more informal settlements. Well, for more on this, I'm joined now in the studio by Ikharo Attah, Senior Special Assistant on Monitoring, Inspection and Enforcement to the Minister for the Federal Capital Territory of Abuja. Thank you very much indeed.
Wonderful time
for
being
coming
on
in.
Television.
Yeah, thank you for coming in. Tell us more about this demolition that the Abuja Federal Capital Territory Authority has embarked upon. What's behind the move?
I think from our point of view, the central point about what we prefer to use very friendly words within the context of the synonyms here, making our dictions appropriate. There we use the word removal, clearing and whatever.
No, that's your words. The people who you removed from there,
Yeah,
it's a demolition. You went in there and demolished their properties.
I'll take that. Now, what happened is when the nation capital was moving from Lagos to Abuja, many persons came in here, and here was the virgin land. And unlike many cities in the world, Abuja was planned, properly planned, and everywhere was designed. Where Arise TV is today was designed for this particular functional land use here. And so when the city finally moved in, and we saw people who never believed the city would work, you know, those days we hear people say Abuja will not work, they won't even come from Lagos. But today the reverse is the case. There's people now believe in the city, and we've gotten massive influx here. We discovered that the plan that the founding fathers of this city put in place was not being violated, was not being raped, was not being contravened. We decided to say, okay, let's put things in proper perspective. Let's go back to what was actually put together by the founding fathers, those who dream about this city here. That's why we are having structures being removed, those that are illegal, those that are contraventions, those that are very provocative alterations here.
Right. And do you give the people who call these places home notice, or do you just go in there with a wrecking ball and destroy everything?
We give them adequate notices.
Well, they said you didn't give them notice.
That's what those. Even now, this morning, we were at Gwarimpa, Road 69, precise. We actually take it away from the one they call the Yarkaswa before, and someone was arguing. They never gave me notice. The moment we asked them to clear and the van was driven away, we saw 2020 marking on the wall. And we asked the people that from the very time you start your foundation of your illegality, they mark. We keep pictures with Development Control Department. When you move on, we mark. We keep pictures. So when you clean them and you move on and thinking that government will not come, government is not serious, or you want to bribe one or two officers, when you compromise, then nobody will come. By and by, your illegality may tarry, but it may tarry for a while. And when the time comes for its removal, it will come. So at every single time they cry out, you never give us notice. You even look at Kuje, for instance. The rail corridor was completely sold and built upon some very wonderful, sweet houses. They said there was no notices, and all of a sudden, the development control lady, Madam Marian, went out, brought out notices she served from 2013, 2015, 2019, until the removal took place 2 weeks ago. All of them, we showed them the notices, and they said, okay, where do we go from here? We are humans too. We can't go to a man's house and hit. We give you notices, some of them even go to court. We wait for some 6, 7, 8, 10 years, get verdict, and come and knock them down. That's the truth.
Right. Well, these people said that they didn't get that kind of notice. And let's face it, a lot of the shanty towns, as opposed to the structured buildings, I mean, are different. So you may not be able to serve them notice the way that you normally would in a properly landed property, would you?
No, we do. As we speak, this morning, the Development Control Department, the component of the FCTA that handles this structural development of the city, went out from the Day Junction, taking it to the Day market, going through down Jiwa towards Gwagwa, announcing. When they're marking, they mark with the pen. They have the legal team that serve you written notices. After doing that, the Abuja Environmental OB van, we call it OB van, the van for announcement, keep announcing to everyone to please leave the road, that the machines will be coming.
Right.
So the day the machines will come, they'll tell you no. And sometimes when petitions, because sometimes, I spend my time in the evening reading petitions against me, against the FCTA. When we go to the petitions, they disappear quickly. Because one, we have video camera, we have written notices, we have everything. When we present them, everything disappears.
But does it concern you that these people whose homes and businesses you've destroyed have nowhere to go and are likely to simply roam the streets?
No, they have somewhere.
Because some of them are dirt poor.
No, they have somewhere to go. Let me tell you why. I will explain it. And I told somebody this morning at Gwarinpa. The problem we have is some of them prefer to stand by the roadside. You just get to a beautiful roadside in Gwarinpa, beautifully, tastefully built neighborhood. You just put what you see on the screen. You put a bacha at the center of the road. Even if you are poor, you can put this thing somewhere far into Karishi. Nobody may come for you. I'm serious, I'm telling you that. You may put this thing somewhere in Gudunkaria, in Gwargwada, in Robochi. Nobody will come for you. But when you put this structure at the very heart of Gishiri, the one we did yesterday, at Gishiri entry point, when you have beautiful duplexes and somebody just go to the edge of the road and you have...
And the poor people are spoiling the neighborhood.
No. And you have this whole illegality on the roadside. I told one, I said, look, you can put these things somewhere far, nobody will see it. Yeah, but when you bring them to the road corridor...
Yeah, but you are aware of the fact that these are very, very poor people. We just saw some of those pictures. If they live somewhere that is very, very, very far away, they often have no means of getting to wherever it is they're doing their business. What I need to know from you is that obviously there are no social services to speak of that the FCTA provides, is there?
We do.
What's so social?
We have the Social Development Secretariat. When you talk about the Art and Culture Office in Area 10, Cyprian Equencing Center is for. We have a Social Development Secretariat. They have the Gender Department, Social Welfare Department.
Yeah, but what does it do? We're not talking about just names.
They do more of empowerment.
Are those people going to be rehoused?
They do more of empowerment.
Are those people who you've evicted? Are they going to be rehoused?
Let me explain. Right. Rehousing them will be a complex puzzle. I'll tell you why. Because they are in their thousands, coming in every day into the city. How many billions of naira will you use to rehouse them? That's the fundamental. It's a Nigerian question we must ask ourselves. Now, leaving them in those shanties and bachas and squalors becomes safe haven for criminals. Like what I keep telling them, what you are doing here, I repeat it, not that I'm condoning illegality, but I'm giving them an advice that may keep us away for a long time. If you do some things far off, nobody will trouble you. When you do it in very developed areas where criminals have safe haven, like what you have on the screen, you're having these things at the heart of the city. It can't stand. It doesn't stand anywhere. The poor always abide with mankind. Even the Holy Book said it, that the poor will always abide with you. That's the truth. They will always
that doesn't absolve the FCTA of its responsibilities.
We do our part.
Right.
If you go there, the Secretary for SDS, Haji Adiza, the Minister of State supervises that, Dr. Ramatu Tijani Aliu. They have social welfare. They do for women, they do for indigent youth. We have the Center for the Ayan Center for Youth Development, where they train many of these indigent youth. We have the Women Development Center in Gwagwalada. We have one in Kuje. We have another center, I think, somewhere.
But you are, in a sense, fighting a battle that you really can't win, can you? Because as long as the people remain homeless, they'll just find somewhere else to erect their shanty homes. I mean, I understand that in Gishiri that you were talking about, for instance, which is on the fringes of Maitama district, the shanties have been destroyed several times, but the people you've driven out just keep erecting more shanties in the same area or near it.
You see, like I told them, our work is enforcement. We are supposed to enforce compliance. When you look at Arise TV, you got a manager news, you got a manager program, you got a manager marketing. These people go to work daily, checking the news and what goes on air, checking the program content, checking the marketing and how the flow of adverts are coming in. The moment you stop, some bad guys are going to bring something in as a gatekeeper, something wrong will happen. If we keep doing our jobs, every single day we'll go out with the machines to remove illegality, they won't bring it back. Yeah, the moment you stop doing your job, illegality will come, even in advanced clients.
Yeah, but everything has to go hand in hand. You don't just enforce things and render people homeless, and then hold on, let me make the point. And then you don't offer. It's like a prisoner. You're supposed to rehabilitate. You're supposed to rehabilitate prisoners. You may punish them for a crime, but you rehabilitate them so that they don't reoffend. But by improving the social conditions of
look
these.
At the picture on the screen.
Hold on.
I want to put something here.
I must
for
make
those who
my
may
point.
Understand that it's a road corridor.
Excuse me. I must make my point.
Go ahead.
By improving the social conditions of these shanty towns, just as you're correctly freeing them from criminal gangs, don't you think you'll be helping to improve not just the look, but the economy of Abuja, as well as the employment prospects of the residents of these shanty towns?
Now, let's now come. The shanties are not supposed to be there in the first place. Being there is a complete package of illegality.
Yeah, but the reason
there are
knock-on effects.
Let me tell you why. This is the studio of Arise Television.
If jobs were provided, if people were housed, if there were social benefits, they wouldn't be living on the streets.
Let me explain.
And that's the responsibility, to some extent, of the Federal Capital Territory.
The studio for this program. If the Arise engineers or drivers or reporters decide to fill in here as a newsroom, you won't take it. That's the truth. Because it is designed for the studio.
Yeah, but they all have jobs, so they're not going to do that.
The picture we saw on the screen
so that's not a good example.
No, it's a road corridor. When someone decides to leave and go to a road corridor and stay on the road corridor, what do we do? It's a road corridor. You don't put your containers and your batches that what you see on the road corridor. We are going to remove them from the road corridor. That is a road. It must be a road.
No. You see, you're missing the point.
Go ahead.
You're absolutely right in saying that there's a measure of enforcement that's required in order to keep order anywhere.
Correct.
That's why we have prison systems.
Correct.
That's why we have the police.
Correct.
But there is also the other side of things, which is social services, rehabilitation, retraining people. I mean, I guess it would be too much to ask the FCTA if it could possibly offer these people alternative housing in appropriate places so they don't go and live on the streets.
Let me explain to you this. After the Malam Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai sold government houses, government across Nigeria don't build houses. Largely don't build houses. We may see one or two governors building for judges, for lawmakers, but you can't see anywhere where government build houses and give to people for free. Nationwide. I'm telling you that it may happen in other clients, but here, maybe because of the fact that we have limitation in funding, that doesn't happen. But we have programs for empowering people who are indigent. But like what I keep telling you, with the massive influx from the northeast, the northwest, the southeast, and the south, and someone on a road corridor, how many will you take and provide houses for everybody? It is difficult. That's why we keep telling them, please don't put your illegality here on the road corridor. Don't put your illegality at the, in quote now, junctions. Don't put your illegality here. Don't put your illegality here. We keep guiding people to have a beautiful city. The moment we lost the script on the ground that, okay, because we have not been able to provide the multi-billion naira dollars to house everyone, then we fold our hands and watch everything go bad. You bring me here and slice me like ugu and fry me like potato. I'm serious.
I like your description.
I'm serious. So now we're telling them, please and please don't stay here. We just beg you in the name of, most time when we go out to beg, you just see someone begging. When we go out to beg, I just imagine you beg. I told somebody this morning, I've been in Gwarimpa last year. I came back this year. I begged and I begged and I begged, and you just remained there until the machines came in this morning and the person said, look, are you going to remove? I said, everything is going to go down. This is a road corridor. Please, and let me tell you why I agree on your position that those who are less privileged should be taken care of. I agree with that, because sometimes even when we go out from our own pockets, you could see a woman so poor. Sometimes even among the officers, we put money together and we say, madam, please take. But there are the ones who are also rich, who bribe their way through decades to remain and commit illegality. Someone is having hundreds of millions and you build one very wonderful big restaurant in Gwarimpa. I said, you've not left here. He said, no, how will you? He said, I spent over 40 million on this, on a road corridor. You spent 40 million. I said, it's going to go. With 40 million, you can have a nice restaurant somewhere across the city. It's going to go. He said, it's going to go. I said, the machine, remove it. He said, road corridor, it must go.
Okay.
And when we talk to people, most of them are largely comfortable. Some of them are not comfortable. They are poor. But sometimes when you see the rich guys on the road and they tell you, we've been on this road for 30 years, every year, every month you give someone bribe, but somehow the script has changed.
Okay.
The time is now.
I want to thank you very much indeed, Ikharo Attah, who's Senior Special Assistant on Monitoring, Inspection and Enforcement to the Minister for the Federal Capital Territory of Abuja. Thank you very much indeed.
I want to thank you for the very hot session on Rise TV. I sweat. Sweated deeply inside of me.
Well, we'll give you some napkins so you can wipe your face, shall we?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed.